What's going on, guys? My name is SillyUmpaLoompa, soon to be SpaceCentipede. We're gonna have to rebrand because I'm scared that Warner Brothers is gonna absolutely fist me. But yeah, anyway, welcome to the channel. This is my first commentary on this channel. If you guys have been around, you'll know that I've mostly, so far I've only done montages on YouTube for Call of Duty. This is my first commentary. This is kind of fun. This is also my first time doing a drinking game for a video game. I thought it'd be fun to do the new DMZ Recon mode for Call of Duty Mobile. So we're starting off with an easy strat here. It's just if I ace it, take a shot. So win or lose, I'm taking a shot. You know what I mean? Like rules that I don't go over in the video that I'm going to talk about right now is if I don't extract, if I die for any reason or I can't extract, that's a shot right there. And then for this rule, for this strat, it's I got to take a shot if I do extract, if I manage to ace it. So no matter what, I'm taking a shot in this first round. I just figured we could talk about some stuff. Sorry, I'm like, I don't know, I'm like nervous. This is my first time doing this, so like, I don't know. I don't really know what to go over. I feel like this is weird. It's like talking to a stranger. I spend so much time on Twitch. Like, I haven't spent a lot of time talking to you guys over here on YouTube. Well, anyway, as of right now, my name is SillyUmpaLoompa. We're going to be switching over to SpaceCentipede here in a little bit, a couple of days. But as of right now, my name is SillyUmpaLoompa. Let's see, I guess I can talk a bit about myself. I am currently a combat medic in the Army. I used to be, during the day I'm a combat medic in the Army, and then in the evening and on the weekends I stream on Twitch and make YouTube videos. It's like a new thing. It's kind of fun. I've recently also gotten into voice acting. That's been like a whole experience. Previously, I was a teacher. I did that for, God, how many years was it? Started in 2016, quit in 2022. So 6 years. 6 years as a teacher. I taught kindergarten, 3rd grade, and 5th grade. Loved my job over there until I didn't. COVID kind of ruined that. Also worked at FedEx as a package handler. I would take the packages off of the semi trucks and load them onto conveyor belts and stuff, so other people could load them into the delivery trucks. And that job wasn't bad. And then I also worked at Dutch Bros, which is a coffee place. Competes with Starbucks. They're kind of new-ish. They're not everywhere. So if you've never heard of them, it's fine. But yeah, I was doing all three of those for a while, working at FedEx, Dutch Bros, and being a teacher, because I wasn't making any money. I was poor, and it sucked. It really sucked. So I did that taught for like 6 years, worked at FedEx for about a year, worked at Dutch Bros for about a year. I've also done some work on OnlyFans. Did that for about a year. Don't try and find anything, because you won't. It doesn't exist. Well, it does exist, but you'll never find it. I've put in a lot of work into suppressing it, so you'll never find it. But I did that. That was cool. That was when I was younger. I was like 21 when I did all that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So how did we get from teaching and coffee baristaing and package handling to where we're at now? I'm glad you asked. So, in 2021, I moved into 2021? Or was it 2022? Might have even been 2023. Somewhere in there, I moved in with one of my friends. He was staying at his aunt's place for a while, in her basement, and he got a cat. And I guess whoever it was, somebody in his family was threatening to get rid of the cat. So he needed a new place to live. So he hit me up. He was like, dude, we should totally move in to a place together. I was like, alright, I'm down. So we did some apartment hunting. Moved in. Rent was like super expensive. Well, actually, it wasn't that expensive. It was like $1,500. Just like normal-ish. So we did that. Hang on, I'm getting a call. Maybe it's just a Snapchat. I don't know. Anyway, we moved in, and I was just teaching. That was just when I was a teacher. Kind of hated my job. Parents were making my life hell. We'll get into that later. We'll get into the teaching side of it later. But yeah, working as a teacher, realized all of my money that I'm going to be making as a teacher is just going to go to paying rent. So I decided to get a second job. Started working at FedEx. My FedEx job would start at about 2 in the morning, get done around like 7-ish. Then I'd go to work at my teaching job at the school. Do that till school got out, and then I'd go home. And then life was okay. Had enough money to pay for rent. Had enough like spending money from FedEx. But I wasn't actually saving any money. None of my money was being saved. So I had to get a third job at Dutch Bros. Well, anyway, we'd been doing that for like 6 months. We were living in this apartment. It was time to renew our lease. And the leasing office wanted to up our rent by like another $500. So it would go from $1,500 to $2,000. And it was like, I can't afford that. Like, that's insane. That wasn't in my budget, you know? So, and then some other stuff happened, and I had to move out. It was a good time. Really good time. So to backtrack a little bit, we'll get into it in a second. Yeah, we're about to see if I ace this first round against this team of 3 right here, and I do not pull it off. I do not pull it off at all. That was rough. Rough start to the game. Alright, so that first strat didn't go well. We're 1 shot in. This next strat is helicopter roulette. Works better if you have a team. Nobody solo queues for this, so I couldn't find a team, unfortunately. So it's basically just hold out as long as I can. If I can make it to the helicopter, I don't have to take a shot. If I don't make it to the helicopter, I have to take a shot. It's a good start. Good start to the drinking game. So let me rewind a little bit here. Let me rewind a little bit here. So, graduated high school. No, let me rewind even further. 2016, my high school offered a program where you could get your teaching degree while you were still in high school. You had to take some college courses while you were in high school. Some good stuff. Good stuff. So that's what I did. Freshman year, I was like, you know what? I don't really know what I want to do with my life. I've babysat and like that's been fine, I guess. Like kids are cool. I guess. Like maybe I'll do that. Do a little something, and if I hate it, then I can figure something out. At least I'll have a job. So I did that. It takes 2 years to do the teaching degree, to get your teaching degree thing through the high school. The only stipulation with that is you don't actually get a teaching degree. It just allows you to teach in the state that I'm in. So I did that for 2 years. Got my like fake teaching degree thing, pseudo teaching degree thing, which means I could work at a school. So in 2016, my junior year, I decided I was going to do like an after-school thing, do some shadowing, you know, kind of learn the ropes of like real life stuff. So I would shadow in the the third grade room. So I'd go in after school because high school lets out like an hour before, like an hour and a half, 2-ish hours, I think, if I remember correctly, before the elementary school lets out. So I'd get out of class, get out of school, and I would go to the elementary school, which was right up the street from the high school. It was actually the same elementary school, or no, sorry, it was going out of order here. It was the first school that I taught at was about 30 minutes away, so I spent like an hour and a half in the classroom with these third graders, and I actually really enjoyed it. The third graders are funny. They're at this age. Third grade is like at this age. They're like 9 and 10 years old. Some of them are 8. And they're at this weird age where like they have a personality, so they're kind of funny, and they're testing the waters of authority to like see what they can get away with. It was a fun age. I really liked working with them. So I did that. In 2018, I graduated high school. Did that for 2 years. Graduated high school 2018, and went to go work at this school full time. They really enjoyed having me. So 2018, went to go work for the school. They were like, we don't really need you in the third grade classroom. You're gonna go to the 5th grade classroom. I was like, okay, cool. So I taught 5th grade for a little bit. And it was actually, the cool part about it was that the 3rd graders that I had my first year working there in 2016, they were my next class for 5th graders in 2018. So it was kind of cool. I got to kind of be there when those kids were like growing up, and that was like a really cool thing to me. A lot of them were really funny. Lots of good kids there. It's kind of crazy that like most of them are graduating high school or about to graduate high school, which is kind of a trip. But it was a really cool class. I really enjoyed my first class. They were really cool. So I did that for another 2 years. 2020 comes around and COVID hits, the lockdown. Everything sucks, especially for schools. Because we were trying to do this e-learning thing. The kids don't really give a shit about e-learning. They couldn't give less of a fuck about it. The school is like trying to make us give a fuck about it because they're like, it's really important. But also like if the kids don't do the work, just pass them anyway. It doesn't matter. This will just be a free year for them. And I actually like really disagreed with that. I kind of hated that because I started getting kids that like the next year in 2021, I started getting kids that like couldn't read, and it was like these kids are about to go to middle school and they can't even read like a 1st grade level book. Like this is a problem. But nobody wanted to listen to me. They just wanted to keep the kids moving along, which was stupid. And that kind of left a bad taste in my mouth in 2020. I kind of learned more about the education field, and that it's not really about the kids or the education. It's more of a game of politics, really, and just appeasing the parents. And something happened during the lockdown where, like, parents just did not give a shit about their kids' education. They just wanted them. They treated school like a daycare. Like, they just dropped them off, and then they could go to work or do whatever the fuck they needed to do for the next 8 hours before having to come pick them up. And we had an after school program that didn't end until 6. So some of these kids showed up at like 6:30 in the morning and didn't go home until 6:30 at night. And it was like, dude, like, I spend more time with your kid. I spend more time with your kid than you do. And you're mad that I'm telling you that your kid is dumb. Like, like your kid should know how to read, and it's not my job. At 5th grade, it is not my job to teach your kid how to read. At that point, it is your problem to do it at home. I will help. I will definitely help, because that's my job. But, like, the parents just didn't care. And anyway, I could go on and on about that, but it left a really bad taste in my mouth. I hated it. But I didn't know what to do. I'd have been teaching for 4 years at that point, and it was like, dude, I don't know what to do. And then when the kids came back from lockdown, they, like, forgot how to be kids. Like, all they knew were, like, iPads. That's all they wanted to do, was, like, get on an iPad. Which is, like, fine, whatever. You want to spend an hour on the iPad, like, that's cool. But we only had, like, 4 iPads, I think. I think we started off with 2, and then they got us another one. And there were, like, some education apps and stuff they could, like, do for, like, an hour. That was, like, the thing. It was, like, they get an hour. The whole class gets an hour of, like, iPad time. So really, if the whole class is sharing, they each get, like, 10 minutes, which doesn't do anything for them. But I don't make the rules. I just try my best. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. 2021 comes around, and I have these 2 coworkers. I'm not going to name them. 2021 is like, we're still kind of in the lockdown, not really. We're still technically in the lockdown, but, like, nobody really cares. And I was all done with teaching. I did not want to teach anymore. So I had these 2 coworkers that were, like, really into me. And we did this, like, flirty thing back and forth. And it was cool. It was cool. Then there was this other one that got hired. Also had a thing for me. And we had this, like, weird love square thing going on. And then one of them was like, you know what would be a great idea? What if we started an OnlyFans? And I was like a group thing? Or, like, what are you talking about? And she was like, well, no, I'm going to start one. And, like, we could just make content together. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of down for that. So we started doing that outside of work. And then she was making really good money. She'd give me some money. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll try to do my own, like, solo male thing. So that's what I did. And I did that for about a year, till 2022. And it was great. It got to a point where it was like, I'm kind of done with this. Because sex started feeling like work instead of sex, and that's, like, not good. So I stopped doing that in 2022. Did it for like a year, 2021 to 2022. Stopped doing that. Meanwhile, my class, my 5th grade class, worst class I've ever had in my life. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. So I told my principal that I'm gonna quit. Like, I can't do this anymore. I mentally cannot handle being in that classroom with them. she was like, well, we don't want you to quit, but like we can play musical chairs with like the grades because some people want to take over 5th grade. I was like, okay. So they moved me in with the kindergartners, and I freaking loved that class. The kindergartners are so funny because they don't know how to be people, but like they're old enough to where they're like learning how to be people. It's kind of like the 3rd grade class, but like even goofier because like they just don't know what's going on. So I enjoyed that. Up until I quit at the end, or like halfway through 2023. So I did kindergarten for like a year and a half. In 2023 was when my friend came to me and was like, dude, we should get an apartment. I have this and this going on. So I was like, okay, sure. Got my job at FedEx, got my job at Dutch Bros. Then our rent went up because our lease was up, and they were like, yeah, we're gonna have to charge you guys $500 more for rent. I was like, that's kind of insane, but like, okay. Go to talk to my roommate about it. This is a week before our lease is up. Where like we either have to sign a new lease, or we gotta move, find a new place. And I worked all the time. I spent more time at work. I spent all my time at work because I would go, when I was working those 3 jobs, I'd leave for work to go to FedEx at like 2 a.m., get done at 7 a.m. Go teach from like 9:30 to 6, depending on if I did the after school thing, which sometimes I did. Most of the time I did because it was extra money. And then from 8 p.m. to like midnight, I would work at Dutch Bros. Because their whole thing is like we stay up late. They used to be 24 hours. I don't think they still are. They weren't when I was still working there. I don't know if they switched it again. But anyway, in between each of those jobs, I only had like 2-3 hours sometimes, like 2-3 hour gap between jobs. So I would just go park in the parking lot of whichever job I needed to go into and sleep in my car. So I didn't even like really spend any time at the apartment unless one of those jobs I had a day off, which also sucked because none of the days that I had off lined up at all. Like I'd have off of work at one of the jobs, but I'd still have to work at the other 2. And it was just exhausting. It was not sustainable. It was absolutely exhausting. But that's life, you know. You just gotta do it. It sucks, but you just gotta do it. So I was doing that. Never saw my roommate, but we needed to figure this lease thing out. So one of the days I called off of work. I think I called off of FedEx. Woke up, went to the leasing office, got all the paperwork, filled it all out, blah, blah, blah. Go back to the apartment. My roommate had finally woken up. A week before our lease is up. We have 1 week to figure it out. Roommate's up. I'm like, dude, we got to do this lease thing. Like, they're trying to increase our rent. It's up to you if we want to find a new place. Or if we're just going to suck it up, pay the extra money, and everything's going to suck. And he was like, oh, dude, I've been meaning to tell you, I'm moving to Florida. Bro, what in the fuck do you mean you're moving to Florida, dude? Like, I'm still mad at him. I don't talk to him. Fuck that guy. But yeah, it really screwed me. Because now, instead of just taking that week to find a new place to live, pack up our stuff, do it together, or just stay there and renew our lease, I now had to find the time to take off of work from my 3 jobs and find a new place to live. I also, in a week, had to pack up all of my stuff while working those 3 jobs and just figure it out. It sucked. It absolutely sucked. So I quit at Dutch Bros. I was like, listen, I gotta go. Like, I gotta pack all my stuff. I gotta figure my life out before I'm cooked. And they're like, okay. So quit at Dutch Bros, packed up all my stuff. Still hadn't found a place to live because it took me like 3 days of that week to pack all my stuff. because I had to like find all the boxes. I had to sell the furniture because I didn't know where I was gonna go, so I didn't even know if I was gonna have room for the furniture. And I couldn't afford like a moving truck. I had to do it all in my tiny little Dodge Dart, so the furniture's not gonna fit. You know what I mean? So I had to sell all the furniture, sold my mattress. I didn't even have a bed. So I'm doing all that. And I'm like, dude, I still need to figure out like where I'm gonna go. Like, I gotta get out of here in 4 days. What am I gonna do? So quit FedEx. And that really sucked because I made a lot of good friends at FedEx that like I'll probably never see any of them again. I think I went to go visit one of them, but the other ones I haven't even like heard from. Don't know what they're doing. That kind of sucked. But anyway, quit FedEx. Just had my teaching job. Hated my teaching job, but it was like the best paying one for what it was. When I got moved to the kindergarten classroom, I didn't even hate like the actual job aspect. Like, I really enjoyed the kids. It was the parents that made my life a living fucking hell. And I hated it. I hated the end of the day when the parents would come in and I'd like try to talk to them about shit because they just wouldn't want to hear it. It was so frustrating. So I hated going to work. And I still had to move all my stuff. Well, couldn't find a place that I could move into by myself. Everybody I know has already moved in with somebody. They have a roommate, they have a family, they're married, it's whatever. In 2022, I met my wife. Well, I didn't meet her. We had known each other since 2018 when I graduated. That's a whole other story that we'll get into another time. But we started dating in 2022. Known each other since 2018. She was in college at the time, doing college stuff. So I told her, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. My parents so when I moved out, my parents had turned my room into like a storage room. So they weren't going to let me move back in because they didn't know what to do with all their stuff. And I was like, that's totally fine. I don't need like a place to stay. I didn't tell them this, but I was like, I can just sleep in my car. It's fine. Can I just store my stuff in my old room since you guys are just using my old room as a storage room? And then when I figure it out, I will come get my stuff. And they're like, yeah, that's cool. Still couldn't find a place. Moved all my stuff over there to their house. During that move, my Dodge Dart was slowly but surely falling apart. There were so many issues with that car. The nail in the coffin was when I couldn't put my car in reverse anymore. Couldn't put my car in reverse anymore. Had to like skateboard kick, sit in the driver's seat, open the door, and like skateboard kick my car out of parking spots. Or park somewhere where I could just pull forward. So that was fun. And I was like, well, I don't have the money to fix that, so skateboard kicking it is. So we did that. I did that. Moved all my stuff over to my parents' house. Once all my stuff was moved over to my parents' house, my car got a flat tire. I was like, dude, fuck me, dude. I can't afford a tow truck. So I drove on my janky flat tire all the way to the car repair place. And I was like, listen, I just need a new tire. And they're like, well, it's going to cost you this much. And I was like, well, I don't have that much. Can you just put the spare on it since I'm already here? And they were like, yeah, sure. So I left my car with them. They're getting ready to put the spare tire on it. They come back like 20 minutes later and they're like, yeah, your spare tire is expired, so we can't put it on. What the fuck? Since when do spare tires expire? It's a fucking tire, dude. Just put it on the car. And they're like, yeah, we can't, but you can. Or you can just buy a new spare tire, which costs like 3/4 of the amount as just getting the actual tire. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna do that. I might as well just spend the money on a brand new tire, which I can't afford. So I put the expired tire back on my car. Still couldn't go in reverse. But it was fine. I was sleeping in my car. It was totally fine. Decided to go to the Renaissance Festival with my friends from FedEx, which is like out in the middle of nowhere-ish, like you, kind of. I thought everything was fine. We get there, we get to like the Renaissance Festival, and my car starts smoking, like a lot. Like it was like bad. I was like, I'll deal with it later. It's probably the clutch like blowing up. Like it's fine. It's fine. I'll fix it later. Go and enjoy my time at the Renaissance Festival. Then we're like, oh, we should go get food after. So I was like, okay. We're getting ready to leave the Renaissance Festival. I have to like skateboard kick my car out of the dirt parking spot, which I couldn't do. I tried to tell the people, because they have like people that guide you where to park. I tried to tell them like, I can't reverse. My car does not go in reverse. Please do not put me somewhere where I can't reverse. Where did they put me? In front of this giant fucking dirt hill. And the dude's like, well, maybe you should just learn how to drive stick. Like, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, dude, fuck all the way off, dude. Fuck all the way off. I will kill you for real, bro. So, couldn't reverse out of this dirt parking spot that they put me in. So I had to... I had to, like, monster jam with, like, the monster trucks. I had to, like, drive over this giant dirt mound by, like, driving up a little bit, putting my car in neutral, letting it roll back down the hill, go back up a little bit more, like, momentum, you know what I mean? Well, anyway, my car, his name was Jamal. He did not like that. And everything blew up. All of it blew up. The clutch blew up, the engine blew up, it all blew up. It made this disgusting sound. So I just had to leave it there, in the middle of nowhere. My friends gave me a ride back. Had to tell my wife, my girlfriend at the time, what had happened. And she was like, well, you know what, my parents said that you can just stay with them, and we'll figure it out. So I did that. Stayed with them. Quit my teaching job because I was like, I'm at rock bottom, dude. This is it. Like, I have no money in savings. I'm basically homeless. My car just blew up. I have no way of getting to work. So I quit my teaching job because I was like, I can't get to work. So I was unemployed, had nothing going on, nothing going for me. Everything sucked. Everything sucked. I hated my life. Hated my life. That was like one of the most depressing moments of my entire life. So, like October of 2023 comes around. I'm like, you know what, dude? What if I just joined the army? What if I just sold my soul to the government? And, you know, what if we just did that? My wife was like, no, we definitely can't do that. I was like, nah, it'll be fine. Like, trust, it'll be good. We'll have money, it'll be okay, it's a stable job. I gotta really fuck up to get kicked out. And she was accepting of it. So I actually managed to pull off that last strat, helicopter roulette. This next one is Shed Lover. Still only taking one shot. Shed Lover, you can only loot sheds. So my plan was to try and kill people who are going to the safes. Hopefully I can get them into a shed somewhere, kill them, and then loot from the shed. That was my plan at first. You guys are about to see how well that goes. But yeah, anyway, told my wife, like, you know, maybe I'll just join the army, become a medic or something. and we'll figure it out. And he was like, I kind of hate that idea. And I was like, well, I don't really know what else to do. So we got married at the end of October in 2023, because I was already planning on asking her to marry me around that time. Regardless of the financial situation. So we went and got married. We're still trying to save up for the actual like ceremony for that. But yeah, we got married. I went to the army, joined the army, and life has been good. Life has been good. I'm happy to say that I have clawed my way out of the pit that I was in. I was really at rock bottom. Everything sucked. It was so bad. Everything sucked. But we're good now. We're good now. We've moved in the army, doing the thing. I hate that the army takes up so much of my like free time for no reason. Like if we were doing something important, then like sure, dude, take up my time. That's cool. But most of the time we're just doing nothing, and it's like what am I doing here? Like I have stuff that I could be doing outside of this. Anyway, got out of training. I was like, you know, maybe I'll start streaming, you know, that could be kind of fun. So I started streaming on Twitch. Didn't really think about doing anything on YouTube. And GG.
Heads up. The basement evacuation ship is en route. Make preparations to leave.
So this next strat is Peekaboo. That last one did not go well. We're now 2 shots in because I died in that last one. Didn't even get to loot a shed. Peekaboo is the next strat where whenever an enemy is near, gotta hide in a smoke grenade in order to kill them. Didn't have any smoke grenades. Couldn't buy any. I don't remember why I couldn't buy any. I don't think I had the money because I suck at this game mode, which we'll get into in a second. But yeah, the strat is if you're gonna kill an enemy, hide in a smoke grenade. That was the plan. Sounds good. Kill an enemy player. The bots, the AI don't count. The AI does not count. So I'm running around here looking for smoke grenades. In order to do that, you gotta kill like the special enemies. So my plan was to kill special enemies like the shield guy right here. See if he dropped a smoke grenade. And then hopefully I'll be able to kill an enemy player and actually get some good loot off of them. Anyway. Where was I in the story? Oh, I was thinking about, like, you know, in my free time, like, I play games, nothing else really going on. It's kind of hard to get a second job in the army. Because, like, your schedule is so messed up and random all the time. So I was like, you know what if I just start streaming? I play games anyway, it'll be a good time. It'll be a good time. So I started streaming on Twitch. Didn't really think I was going to be doing anything on YouTube. Then, in 2025, the army was like, bro, you're moving to, or we're not moving, but we're getting deployed. Like, you're getting deployed to Korea. And I was like, okay, that kind of messes my plans up a little bit, but like, whatever. Deployment is cool. Korea will be cool. I've never been to Korea. So I went to Korea, brought my PS4, to play or stream the Assassin's Creed series because my little sister had bought me Assassin's Creed Valhalla for Christmas. But I was like, I've never played an Assassin's Creed game before. I don't know what I'm doing. I know this is like the latest installment in the series, so like the story's not going to make any sense if I just jump into it. So I was like, well, pretty sure the Assassin's Creed games are free with PlayStation Plus, which you need anyway to play online on the PlayStation. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll just do that. I'll stream over in Korea. I'll stream Assassin's Creed while I'm in Korea. Cool. So did some of that. Then somebody was like, dude, you should stream the Call of Duty games. I was like, well, I don't own any Call of Duty games. And at the time, all of the Call of Duty games had just been taken off of the PlayStation platform, unless you had bought like a disc version before Microsoft bought the franchise and cock-blocked Sony from having Call of Duty on PlayStation. So I was like, well, I can't really do anything with that. But I do have a cell phone. I can play Call of Duty Mobile. I didn't really have anything to like stream. Streaming on your phone, it works, but it most people who stream games on their phone, they have like a separate phone for streaming, and then they have like their phone for like texting and calling and all that. Because streaming on your phone is really, really taxing on the hardware on your phone. And I was like, well, I don't want to destroy my phone while I'm in Korea, because I like being able to talk to my wife while I'm on the other side of the planet. But I was like, you know what, I can record the gameplay and then make montages and do little commentaries like that, like this. So this is what you're seeing right now. I'm actually in Korea playing Call of Duty Mobile, DMZ Recon, doing a drinking game, and you guys are seeing that gameplay right now. I kind of stopped streaming Assassin's Creed when I was over in Korea. Main reason being, surprisingly, we had a lot of free time in Korea. Like, turns out when you get deployed to somewhere that's not actively in combat, the army, like, doesn't really know what to do with itself, and it just kind of, like, is whatever. So I had a lot of free time. That was when I was kind of thinking, like, oh, you know what, YouTube could be kind of cool. I could record my gameplay from streaming and from Call of Duty Mobile, and edit it and put it on YouTube while I'm over there. So I was streaming Assassin's Creed and finished the first stream. I was playing Assassin's Creed 2, finished the first stream. I was like, well, I gotta download the VOD from Twitch, put it on my laptop. So went on Twitch to go download the VOD, and it wasn't there. And I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, did Twitch change their VOD thing? But I was like, dude, there's no way, because there's no way they changed it. Because, like, part of Twitch's whole thing is, like, if you're a creator and somebody misses your stream, you can still upload it as a VOD and they can still watch it. So they didn't, like, really miss anything, you know? And I was like, dude, there's no way they got rid of their VOD system. So I did some digging around, and Korea is really about like being private. The people there are very private. So like doing vlogs and stuff. I did some vlogs. Gonna edit those. Those are coming up. You guys will see those. But doing vlogs is kind of weird because you can't record the people there. But it's Korea. There's people everywhere. You know what I mean? And I was like, you know what? I wonder if Korea and Twitch have like their own weird law thing going on. So I looked it up, and you can stream on Twitch while you're in Korea, but you cannot download the VOD. Twitch will not, if you're in Korea, Twitch will not save the VOD in your content tab on the website. And the video producer is where you go. The video producer tab is where you go to download your VODs. But if you're in Korea and you did a Twitch stream in Korea, you can't download that VOD. So I was like, well, fuck, dude. Like, I don't want to stream the Assassin's Creed series while I'm in Korea and then not be able to download the VODs to edit them to make them into like YouTube videos with whatever I decide to do, funny moments or whatever I decide to do. I hadn't decided yet. So I was like, well, we'll put a pause on streaming Assassin's Creed. I also wanted to play Injustice because my sister also got me Injustice 2, but I'd never played the first one, and I'm terrible at fighting games like that. So I was like, I'll play Injustice 1. It's so old that you can't even stream it on Twitch anyway without a disc copy on the PlayStation. So I was like, I'll just play Injustice in my free time when I don't feel like recording anything. And then I'll just play Call of Duty Mobile and try to get a head start on that for the Call of Duty series that I want to do. So I played a lot of COD Mobile. I got really, really, really good at COD Mobile. I think it was like August or September of 2025 while I was in Korea. I was top 0.3% globally, which sounds really impressive, but then I looked up, because I was like, I'm curious, I want to know like what that actually means, because 0.3% of COD Mobile players, I'm in the top 0.3%. That's insane. So I looked it up. I looked up how many like players actively play Call of Duty Mobile in 2025, and it was actually surprisingly a lot. I don't remember the exact number, but it was a lot. Which I guess makes sense, because not everybody has a device that they can play like the actual Call of Duty games on. So it makes sense that people would play Call of Duty Mobile. Anyway, I looked it up because I was curious, because I got very, very good at Call of Duty Mobile. 0.3% globally. And I was like, dude, that's insane. This is the best thing I've ever done in my life. Meanwhile, I'm on deployment. But and so I looked it up. Don't remember the exact number of players, but I did the math, and there's about being top 0.3% of the global population is there's still like 300 million people who are better players than me. So I mean, like top 500 million, I'll take that, dude. Like that's still pretty impressive. That's still pretty impressive. But yeah, there's still 300 million people better than me, which is insane. It's absolutely insane.
There are new vehicles.
I also have yet to find a smoke grenade to do this strat, but it's okay. Yeah, I got really, really good at Call of Duty Mobile. I mostly enjoy the multiplayer. Battle Royale it's okay. It's not bad. The sweatier people tend to be on the Battle Royale mode. There are some sweaty people on multiplayer as well, especially when you get really high up. But I don't know, I found that I was better at multiplayer. So I played a lot of multiplayer, played some Battle Royale, trying to get the achievements and stuff. There's some Easter eggs in Battle Royale as well, so I was doing that. And then, Call of Duty Mobile devs were like, you know what? Warzone Mobile did absolutely dog shit on its own. What if we added it to Call of Duty Mobile? And that is what they did. They added DMZ Recon, their extraction game mode, to Call of Duty Mobile. And I was kind of scared to touch it. I'm not good at extraction shooters. Well, I haven't really played extraction shooters. I always thought I was going to be bad at extraction shooters. And sure enough, I am pretty bad at DMZ Recon. My instincts were correct in that I am bad at this game mode. I was like, fuck it, dude. Like, we'll try it out. It's a new game mode, something new to do. Might as well do a drinking thing with it, because I was thinking about doing some drinking games with other video games that I wanted to play when I got back from Korea. So here we are, doing a drinking game in DMZ Recon. Now, I have a lot to say about this game mode. I think it is fun. I do think it is a fun game mode. It's something different to do. Some of the gameplay choices are interesting. And I'll actually complain about it right now, because we have the time. First off, the bots are insane. So there's two game modes, two difficulty settings. Sorry, two difficulty settings in DMZ Recon. You can play on normal. You come across a lot of AI, a lot of bots, and every now and then you'll come across a normal player, like a real life human player, And they're like okay, they're decent at the game. They're not like insane. It's whatever. It's pretty chill. It's pretty chill. The other difficulty is hard mode. In hard mode, the AI have aimbot. They'll track you through walls. They will like insta headshot you. It's insane. It is insane the difficulty jump just with the AI enemies. And all of the sweaty human players play on hard mode. This is when the mode first came out. This gameplay that you're seeing here. They're all super sweaty. And I was like, dude, I can't keep up with this. Like, I'm pretty good at this game. I am top 0.3% globally, and I'm getting deleted by these people. I was like, I don't understand. So did some digging, and while I was in my travels of digging through the game mode, really like trying to understand it, the Call of Duty mobile devs came out with Building 21. That place, Building 21, is hell on earth. You think DMZ Recon hard mode is difficult? Try getting into a game of Building 21. I have only extracted, in my time playing this, I've been playing this game for a year. Yeah, a year. I've been playing Call of Duty Mobile for a year. DMZ Recon, I've probably been playing for... God, I don't even remember when it came out. I think it was like December of last year, November of last year. So, about 6 months. We'll say 6 months. I have only won one game of Building 21 because everybody is so fucking cracked. They're so insane. The builds are insane in Building 21. And I didn't get it. I was like, dude, we're using the same gun. How is it that you delete me and I've like barely touched you? Like, I don't get it. So I did some digging, some more. And the body armor system doesn't, it makes sense because it's realistic, but for a Call of Duty game, it makes no sense. And it's almost like there's no point in wearing or purchasing armor. The best armor I have costs $1 million, right? That body armor gives you 3 plates. It's pretty decent armor. Nobody cares about armor in DMZ Recon though, because people found out that if you just shoot people in the legs, it bypasses the armor. So everybody, instead of trying to go for headshots, like they do in multiplayer or even Battle Royale, instead you have a bunch of people who just shoot you in the toes, because the game, for whatever reason, is designed to ignore body armor if you shoot people in the legs. It makes sense. It makes sense. It's realistic, but what the fuck? What the fuck is that, dude? Oh, it really pisses me off, dude. Like, it's such a weird way of playing a first-person shooter. Everybody's just shooting each other in the legs. That's how you get deleted instantly. It's crazy. So I found that out. I also found out that in the other game modes, especially multiplayer, to get attachments and stuff, you just get kills. You level up your weapon through weapon XP by getting kills with it, and then you get attachments for your guns. Well, in DMZ Recon, you can buy attachments for your guns, and then there's like gun perks that you can get. I don't even know. There's a whole other layer to DMZ Recon that I have even yet to touch because I suck at this game. Yeah, there's like these perks or something, and they do crazy shit. And there's all these builds. One thing that I do not like, I've only played 2 Call of Duties at this point. Call of Duty Mobile, and since I've been back from Korea, we're finishing up with World at War, and we're about to hop on Black Ops 1 in the next couple of weeks. Next couple of days, honestly. One thing that I do not like about... I haven't really had it with World at War, because World at War is a 20-year-old game, and it's whatever. But in Call of Duty Mobile, there's, first of all, everybody just copies whatever YouTuber's build is the most deleted, has the most like deleting capacity. Whatever setup the best YouTuber has at that time, that's like, that becomes the meta, and everybody just uses that. I was under the impression that like it would just be people kind of figuring it out, and like different guns would have different metas and whatever. But no, everybody just runs around with the fucking USS-9 and ruins your life. Or in DMZ Recon, it's the JAK-12, which is a shotgun. Excuse me. And they just delete you. They just ruin your life. It's so frustrating. And then, on top of that, these YouTubers have like spreadsheets for every single gun in the game, with every single possible attachment combination. It's insane. It's exhausting, dude. And like, I don't know, I didn't really have like that much of an issue with it in multiplayer. The USS-9 is disgusting. And everybody will agree with me that the USS-9 is absolutely disgusting. But it was like, whatever. I could use whatever build I wanted on any of my guns in multiplayer, and it felt balanced. Except against the USS-9. But, I rest my case. In DMZ Recon, I don't even have, like... maybe I'll show you guys my inventory one of these days. Like, I don't even have the attachments or the money to get the attachments to use the gun that is good. You know what I mean? I just run around with, like, the shitty guns. Because when DMZ Recon first came out, every single time you died, you lost it. You lost everything. You lost your money, you lost your backpack, you lost your armor, you lost your weapons. So I was like, dude, I have this pimped out gun that I've spent all my money on with all these attachments and stuff, but I'm just gonna get deleted if I take it to building 21. So I'm never gonna use it. I'm never gonna touch it. It's gonna stay in my inventory. They have since fixed it because they realized that like there was a huge skill gap between. It got to a point where like the really good players had all the really good guns, and then all the people who are just kind of at the game, they were just running around with basic weapons because they couldn't afford to make a pimped out gun, and most of them didn't want to because as soon as you did, you would load into Building 21, which offers the most money, and you'd just get insta-deleted by somebody and lose your pimped out gun. So, but you have to play Building 21 to get your money back up and get good loot. So people were just running around. You had like players who had like all the cracked guns, like the top 0.1% of DMZ Recon players all had the best guns. They had all the pimped out guns, and then everybody else is just running around with like this Ram 7 that you can just pick up from fucking whoever, anywhere in the game. It was the weirdest like thing to learn, and I still struggle with it. I don't like playing DMZ Recon because it makes me mad. It makes me mad how bad I am at it, knowing that I am a good player at this video game. It's such a weird thing. I don't know. It's one of those things where like if you haven't experienced the power creep like firsthand, you won't fully understand like just how insane. It's almost like a completely different game. DMZ Recon plays like a completely different game than Call of Duty Mobile, and not in a good way. Not in a good way at all. But it's still, with that being said, it is still a COD game. I'm still having fun with it. I just get really mad. I can only play this game in short bursts because it makes me feral, dude. But yeah, other than that, I'm actually really enjoying my time with COD Mobile. I'm actually almost done with the game, believe it or not. I have a lore video I need to make. That's going to be a huge thing. Because, surprisingly, without being like a staple game in the franchise, it is actually packed with lore. And I feel like nobody really, like, talks about it at all. I don't know. I'm brand new to this franchise, so maybe people have. I've tried hard not to look at anything, because I want to give my own take. without really being like persuaded by anybody. And so that is what I'm planning on doing. But yeah, there's so much lore in this game. So much lore. We're almost done. Finished the camo grind pretty much. I kind of gave up on the camo grind for this game. It's just too insane. You have to play 150 games with every single weapon and get 10 kills in every single one of those games just to get diamond for everything. Like, that's insane. That's probably never gonna happen. So yeah, I'm not doing it. I still have a couple of achievements to get, and I still have a lot of videos I need to edit for you guys. Yeah, and then we'll be done with our first COD game. We're about to be done with World at War. And move on to Black Ops 1. I'm gonna have to try and figure out how to do the... And I died. I died. I died right at the end. And I didn't even get to do the strat because I didn't get a smoke grenade. Dude, I hate this game mode. So this next strat is Weeping Friendlies. This strat, if you see a teammate's head, you can't move or look around. If everybody gets locked by, they can all see each other's heads, the person with the lowest amount of kills sacrifices themselves, and the game then resets. I got lucky here because I did not load in with a team, as per usual, because nobody solo queues in this game because it fucking sucks. So yeah, I lucked out, got to just run around, play normal, pretty much. We've taken 3 shots at this point. I'm definitely feeling it. I'm definitely feeling it at this point. I'm such a lightweight when it comes to alcohol. It's so bad. It's so bad. Yeah, I guess we can get into plans that I have now that I'm back home from Korea. I'm streaming, doing YouTube stuff. So I actually have a lot of stuff I need to edit. I have so many. I'm so behind on editing because it takes so long, and my brain can only handle editing for like 2 hours before it starts to tap out, and I just get like tired. I don't know how to describe it. I get like fatigued. But I'm gonna need to start editing more because my hard drives are filling up. And it starts with this. I have the most footage I have is of Call of Duty Mobile. So that's the majority of what I'll be posting on YouTube. I just finished up my Payday 2 run. I think we just have achievement hunting left for the streams. I have a lot of editing to do for Payday 2. Recently started playing TF2. We're almost done with that as well. We just have achievement hunting for that game. So I have a lot of editing to do for that. We're almost done with World at War, so I have to edit that as well. Gonna be, after this is uploaded, I'm gonna be playing a horror game. Simulacra 3 or something like that. I don't know. People were telling me to play it. I haven't really played a horror game before, so I thought it would be fun to play a horror game. What other stuff do I have to edit? I have an Assassin's Creed lore video that I'm working on. I have some vlogs that I'm working on, some real life videos that I want to do. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's kind of all I got going on. I'm working on a long time ago, don't even remember when it started, but the boys, we started playing D&D. And my plan was to record the D&D sessions and then hire an animator to animate the funny moments of our D&D sessions. And everything was going great because I was finally making some money from the military. I was like, you know, this is actually going to be great. And then my hard drive got corrupted, and I lost all of the footage of the D&D campaign. So I was like, fuck, dude, like, I had an animator ready. Like, I was like, we're just gonna have to. I had to text him, and I was like, dude, we're just gonna have to not do it. Like, I'm sorry. But yeah, they finished their D&D campaign while I was in Korea. And while I was in Korea, I was kind of thinking, you know, we both play, the boys and I, we all play Magic the Gathering. We've just started playing D&D. I want to make a D&D campaign where you still make a character sheet, you still make a character, but instead of like leveling up and all that stuff, you build like a deck. So we like to play Commander. My thought process is you pick a commander card, pick your creature that you want to be, have as your commander. You make a character sheet based around your commander. You'll roleplay just like we're playing regular D&D, and then the combat, instead of it being like however you would describe combat in D&D, it would just be little magic games, commander games, and you would build your deck as you go. It's a little weird. I'm still working on it. It's still in the works. It might be a while before any of that happens, but the plan is to do that and then have somebody animate for the D&D campaign, D&D Magic the Gathering crossover campaign. So, you know, if you're an animator, you're interested in doing that, hit me up. If you guys have any ideas for the D&D Magic the Gathering crossover, let me know. I think that I'd love input. I'd love input because there's a lot of stuff that I don't know what to do with for that. That kind of like puts a hold on things because I'm like, I don't know how to make that work in a card game, or I don't know how to make this card game mechanic work in a role-playing game. Stuff like that. I keep bumping my desk. It keeps making a lot of noise too. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I apologize. But yeah, we have some of that going on. What else am I working on? What else do I have going on? Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty. I did a charity stream in Payday 2. That was really successful. That was huge, actually. That was the coolest thing that I've done, I think, with streaming. We raised like almost $1,700 for charity, which is insane as a small streamer. Like, that's fucking wild. So I have to edit that, but I have a couple of games that people suggested. There was like a certain dollar amount that if you donated, if you donated a certain amount, you could request a video game. So I have a Harry Potter game, Harry Potter Quidditch game that somebody requested. There's a Flushed Away, the movie with like the rats in the sewers with the frog guy. There's a video game of that somebody requested that I play. Somebody else requested Minecraft, so I have a lot of Minecraft streams that I want to do. I have a World at War, Strat Roulette multiplayer stream coming up, as well as a World at War multiplayer drinking game coming up. And we're going to do those before we move over to Black Ops 1. And everybody in chat has been enjoying that. They've been saying like World at War is cool, but I should be really looking forward to the other games like Black Ops 1. Mostly for the zombies, because the zombies gets really good. So I was looking into it without trying to like spoil anything. And I guess for the Easter eggs in Black Ops 1, you need 4 players, which is cool. That's fine. Except I have Black Ops 1 on my Xbox One, and they have since shut down the servers, unless they've changed it. I know they've been doing a lot of stuff with the older Call of Duty games of like trying to remaster them or open the servers back up or whatever. So unless they've already done that, I might be cooked for the zombies Easter eggs because you need 4 players to do them. I only have it on Xbox One, and it is only a 2-player split screen experience. So I wouldn't be able to do 4 players. I could do 2 Xbox Ones with Black Ops 1, do like a LAN thing. But my wife and I don't really have the space for that, nor do I want to spend the money on another Xbox One just to have Black Ops 1 on another Xbox so I can do 4-player zombies. If I can get the boys to pitch in, maybe. I think Beowulf still has his Xbox One. I don't know if he has Black Ops 1. But it's probably like, I don't know, $30 maybe. And I'm dead. I'm dead again, dude. I hate this game mode. I hate it so fucking much.
The dangerous hostiles in this area were too much for you. Mission failed.
Alright, so this next strat is deliberate throw equals a shot. So essentially if I lose something that's like super winnable, definitely winnable, I have to take another shot. And it'll be a double shot actually, because if I die, I have to take a shot. So it'll be 2 shots this round. We're already at 4 shots so far. So I'm definitely feeling it, definitely a little drunk at this point, because I'm such a lightweight. But yeah, anyway. Some things I wanted to talk about with this commentary thing are some controversial things, because controversy is fun. And I don't know, seems like a good space. You guys can get to know me a little bit better by talking about some controversial things. So let's start with religion. So I grew up religious, kind of. My mom and stepdad were, they're both Christian, and they go to church all the time, or they try to go to church. They try to get us to go to church on Sundays. But somehow, some way, every single time we would try to go to church as a family, they would always get into a fight. And my sister and I would just be sitting in the car waiting to go to church, and then they'd get into some fight about something, and then we would end up not going to church. Which, like, that's fine. I didn't really want to go to church. Church always felt really weird for, like, a lot of different reasons. Maybe it was just the church we were going to I didn't fuck with. But, yeah, that kind of put a weird, made me associate church with, like, negative vibes, which isn't a good start. And then I already questioned so much about religion. And, like, nobody ever had, like, an answer. People would always use, like, oh, it's just the way it is, you know, if God wanted you to know, he would have told us. And it's like, dude, that's such a cop-out. Like, that's... some stuff obviously can't be answered. But there's other stuff that you're just using that as a cop-out. Then on my dad and stepmom's side, they were Buddhists. Don't know if my dad is still a Buddhist. He's been posting a lot of, like, Christian stuff lately, so maybe he believes in God now. I honestly don't know. Don't talk to my dad that much. But they were Buddhists. And I liked the concept of Buddhism as a kid. I thought it was cool that, like, you come back and based on your good and bad deeds of your previous life that determine your life in the next life, you know? It was a cool idea. Like, I don't know. Growing up, like, that was in elementary school. Middle school came around as I was growing up, you know, like, my friends and I would make fun of religion because it's kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like, it's it's kind of goofy. I don't know. I don't know where I stand on religion. I believe there is something. I just want to get that out of the way. I do believe there is something. Don't know what that something is. I have witnessed things that I cannot explain that maybe we can get into another time. So I definitely believe there's something. Don't know what that something is. That, and with a lot of modern religion, it's very like pushy, and I don't really fuck with that. So anyway, middle school and high school, you know, my friends and I would make fun of religion. We'd make fun of a lot of stuff, but one of those things would be religion. Anyway, when I joined the military, it was before they started cutting a whole bunch of religions out of like the chaplain program and stuff. But even then, they were still like very pushy about Christianity. And, you know, in basic training, you're not allowed to do like anything except read religious materials on top of your training. So I was like, you know what? I've never actually read the Bible. I know like bits and pieces of the Old Testament, but I actually don't know anything about the New Testament. So ever since I've joined the military, I've been slowly reading the New Testament just to kind of see if maybe it'll change my mind or whatever. And I have a lot of opinions about that. I haven't finished it yet, so I'm not going to give all those opinions, because maybe those opinions will change when I'm done with the Bible, the New Testament. But yeah, I definitely have a lot of opinions. But there were some things that I thought would be fun to talk about on the internet, because the internet is, everybody knows, is a super safe place to talk about controversial things, like abortion. So that's what we're going to talk about right now. So I think it's appropriate to start with a Bible verse about abortion, since Christian people tend to be the most opinionated about abortion. So I'm going to go ahead and flip over to Psalm 139, 13 through 16. Let me get here real quick.
Good work.
We're almost there. There's a lot of pages. Okay, Psalm 139, 13 through 16. So this verse says, "For you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Wonderful are your works. My soul knows it very well. My frame was not hidden from you when I was being made in secret, intricately woven in the depths of the earth. Your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them." Interesting stuff. So what I got from that is that nowhere in there does it say that abortion is bad, okay? Nowhere in there did I see anything that said anything about abortion being bad. And yet, Christian people love to be like, no, it's bad, dude. The Bible says that it's bad. Well, according to this verse that is specifically about abortion, before anybody argues with me on that, I know that this specific verse is about abortion. Nowhere in there does it say that abortion is wrong. It just says that when a man and a woman have come together to make a new person, it is a very beautiful thing, which I don't think anybody disagrees with. I don't think anybody disagrees that, like, the fact that we can do that, the fact that we can make babies is not a beautiful thing. Nobody is arguing that. The argument comes from, is it okay to get rid of that thing that you have created when, for whatever reason? And I think the answer is yes. I absolutely do. First of all, it is, in my opinion, mostly the woman's choice. You're crazy if you disagree with that. I do agree that men should be able to have a little bit of a say, especially if you are the potential father of this thing that you have made. Because you helped create it. But on the flip side of that, women are absolutely correct in the fear of believing that at any point a man can just leave. At any point they can just be like, you know what, I actually I don't want to deal with this thing. I'm out. Now what? You know what I mean? Now, before we get further into this, I do think there is a point where it is too late to abort a child. I do think it gets to a point where it is too late. If you were in the 3rd trimester of your pregnancy, in my opinion, that is too late to abort a baby. You should have made that decision 6 months ago. Up until that point, though, I believe that it is okay to abort a baby. For many different reasons. One of the biggest ones is that a man can leave whenever he wants. At any point in time. And that the burden of a child should not be put on a woman alone. That is insane. Single moms are the hardest workers I have ever met in my life. My best friend was a single mom for a very, very, very long time. And I'm not going to go into her story a whole lot, but when she told Hoax and I that she was pregnant, we were sitting down in her car, and she was like, yeah, I'm pregnant, I don't know what I'm going to do, it's with this guy. They had a whole situation going on between the two of them, and she wanted Hoax and I's opinion. This was when we were, God, I think we were 18. And Hoax and I were pretty much in agreement that no matter what she decides to do, she's not wrong. And that at the end of the day, it is her choice. However, given the financial situation the 3 of us were in at the time, at the wonderful age of 18, haven't even experienced any part of our 20s yet, we think she should consider the things that she will miss out on. Now, whatever she decides to do, we will support her. But up until that point, she had... Well, there were two things. One, she would go to parties. She loved to, like, hang out with people. She loved going out and, like, staying out super late and doing all kinds of shenanigans, right? That's what your 20s is all about. If you have a kid and you want to be a good parent, you can't do those things. You can't go out to the club. You can't... as often as you want. Every now and then, like, fuck it, dude, just get a babysitter and, like, just go do whatever you want. But, like, for as much as, like, a 21-year-old wants to go out, you can't be doing that with your kid. Now, this friend and I grew up very poor. Very, very poor. Hoax was... I don't want to say he was rich. He was kind of rich compared to our friend and I. Hoax was rich. We were not. We were very, very poor. When we had this conversation, I told her, you know, that is something that I think you should consider, is the kind of life that you want for your kid. We are 18 years old. We have like $2 to our name. You're in this messy situation with your situationship that you have going on. Are you sure you want to have a kid? Our friend, she's very religious, very, very Christian. Maybe she's Catholic. I don't even know. Very, very religious. Anyway, she got upset. She got a little upset. And my biggest point to her was, you know, this is this child is going to tie you to this other person that you've decided to procreate with forever. You're never going to get away from it. Now, whatever you end up deciding to do, I'm not going to hate you for it. But I think you should consider all of your options. You know, is this the life that you want your kid to have? Is this the world that you want your kid to grow up in? And she eventually decided that she was going to keep the baby. And every single day, you know, I'm happy that she did. I'm happy that she did. I've met her kid. Her kid is really funny. And I think she made a good choice, but I would not have hated her for choosing to get an abortion. There are some people, after being a teacher, there are some people on the planet who should not have kids. You know who you are. You know exactly who you are. You're probably not watching this video, but you know exactly who you are. Those people should have gotten abortions. And then come the arguments from the other side of like, well, life is created right after you procreate, right? Like, as soon as you have sex, the baby's made. That is not how that works at all. It is not a life form. It is essentially a parasite, if we really want to get into it. A fetus is a parasite that feeds off of the mother, who's the host. And it basically kills you. Let's not sugarcoat it. It basically kills you. Do you have any idea how many side effects happen while you are pregnant? Your teeth can fall out. Your hair can fall out. It can break your bones while it's in your body. Now, if you want to have kids, and you're like all for that, I'm happy for you. I am super happy for you. There are some people who do not want that. They do not want to have a kid. They don't want to go through all the negative things that come with pregnancy. That should be their choice, whether or not they want to go through that. The whole like, oh, we need to ban abortion thing is insane. Absolutely insane. Because it doesn't affect anybody. Whether or not they abort a child does not affect a single soul outside of the person who is debating getting an abortion. And then it goes even further than that. It goes even further than that. What if the father of that child is a rapist? What if you didn't want that kid? You know, what if that kid came from being sexually assaulted? Are those women not supposed to get abortions? Are they just supposed to raise their rapist's child? Fuck no. Fuck no, they are not. You're insane if you think that that is the right answer. You're crazy. My stepdad loves making the argument of his story, right? Because he was, when he was born, he was put up for adoption, and his biological mother was debating getting an abortion. And he tells me every day, every time we have this conversation, oh, I'm so fortunate, or I'm so glad that my biological mom chose not to get an abortion, because otherwise, like, I wouldn't be here. And, like, I'm so grateful for that. And my argument to that is, that's cool, but you're also a 55, almost, like, between 55 and 60-year-old man, right? If you're a fetus, you can't appreciate that. You don't know. You don't know. You're not sentient. You can't miss something that you never had. So you would have no idea. You would have no idea what life was like at all. He's like, well, but I wouldn't exist. Like, you know, you don't want me to exist? And I was like, I didn't say that. But the truth is that my mom would have either just stayed single or found another dude. Like, life goes on. Life goes on. We can take it even a step further, right? Especially with a lot of recent world events. Given the current state of the United States and the current state of the world, it is not in corporate America's best interest for people to get abortions. Why? Why is that? Well, the largest generation is about to retire / die, right? They're going to need bodies. These companies, these corporations are going to need bodies to replace the workforce. Workforce. Gen Z isn't having kids at the same rate that previous generations have had. Mainly that's because it's too expensive to have a kid. Way too expensive to have a kid. Which is another reason to get an abortion, because you can't afford to have a child. But anyway, Gen Z is the newest generation to enter the workforce. And eventually, that means that it is up to the millennials to start pushing out their kids. So that way their kids can replace Gen X when it's time for them to start working. Once Gen Alpha enters the workforce, it is up to Gen Z to start having Gen Beta kids, who will eventually enter the workforce. But these corporations right now are in a bit of a panic. I don't want to say a panic, because they don't really give a shit right now. But they're smart enough to look ahead and see that because Gen Z is not having kids, they're not going to have workers to replace the workforce, right? Well, what's the easiest way to fix that? What is one of the easiest ways to fix that? Well, rather than fixing the real issue, which is the state of the world sucks right now, and it's too expensive to have a kid, we can just eliminate the methods in which you can prevent having a child. Well, how do we do that? Because we can't just get rid of contraceptives. You're right. So let's push really hard to ban abortion. So that way, because people are gonna fuck. No matter what happens, people are still gonna be fucking. We saw that in A Quiet Place. The world has ended. You literally can't make a sound, and these two knuckleheads decided to still fuck and have a kid. Anyway, what is the easiest way to guarantee that people will have kids? Well, you get rid of the ways in which they can get rid of those kids, starting with abortion. It's not about religion. In my opinion, this is all my opinion. This is just the way that I look at the world. It has nothing to do with religion. Religion is just the tactic they use to manipulate people into believing that abortion is wrong, as well as many other things, but right now we're just talking about abortion. And so they say, you're disappointing God. You're gonna go to hell if you get an abortion. So you can't. Well, that isn't really working, right? Because there's not a lot of people, especially in Gen Z, who are Christian, right? For a whole bunch of reasons. Statistically speaking, there are less Christians in Gen Z or any other denomination of believing in God than any other generation before us. So the whole religious, you're going to disappoint God and go to hell if you get an abortion thing, that's not working. So what's the next step? Well, we push for laws that completely ban abortion. Just make abortion illegal. Americans can't afford to go to countries that that have legal abortion. So the only way for us to do it is if we make getting an abortion illegal. There's nothing they can do about it, right? There's nothing anybody can do about it. Which is, in my opinion, actually it's not even my opinion, it's a fact. That is a violation of human rights. Because it is up to women if they want to get an abortion or not. And the only reason that politicians and all of these other fucking puppeteers care care about stuff like abortion is because it is a numbers game for corporations to have more cogs to throw into the machine. When I was in Korea last year, there's a lot of talk about how Japan is in a crisis right now because people aren't having kids, and the population is going to go down and all this stuff in Japan. And then this year, over the past couple of months, there have been huge pushes from the U.S. government about, oh, you guys need to have kids. Don't you want a kid? Kids are fantastic. Just think of the wonderful family you can grow. You know what I hear when they say stuff like that? Oh, yeah, isn't having a kid great? Isn't being hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt forever to pay off to trillionaire corporations? Isn't that just the dream right there? Isn't that exactly what you want? Come on, have a kid, dude. Have a kid. There's so many layers to it. I could talk about this for forever. This is a really like shitty way to talk about it right now because I'm not like super invested. I didn't like write a script or anything. I'm just going off the dome. But at the end of the day, I do think abortion is okay. I don't think it's a bad thing. And that's my opinion. You can disagree, you can agree, it doesn't matter. We did the strat. We pulled it off. Alright, so this next strat, we pulled that last one off. This next strat is, if I use a shock RC, I need to take a shot. I don't know, it's been a while since I've played DMZ Recon, so I'm not entirely sure if the shock RC is still a purchasable kill streak in DMZ Recon, but at the time of me playing this, it was. And it was pretty much like if you used it and it managed to shock somebody, they were just dead. If you were close enough to shoot at them while they were being shocked. It was just game over for them. But I don't really use it a lot. It's kind of expensive. It takes away from your money, like your end game money when you extract. It wasn't really worth it, in my opinion. So I didn't use it. I don't use it a whole lot. So this strat, not really a big deal. I just got to make it to the end and not use a shock RC. And to go back to what that last strat was, that's my opinions on abortion. Abortion is okay. It shouldn't be an illegal thing. It shouldn't be something that is something that you can get like a criminal penalty for, because that's crazy. I think it'll always be a controversial thing because you'll have people who always believe that, you know, you should just have the baby. You chose to fuck, so you should just have the baby. That's okay. You can believe that. That's totally fine. At the end of the day, I don't think you should take away the basic human right for women to choose if they want to get an abortion or not. It is their bodies that get wrecked at the end of the day, right? Anyway, that's just been a recent thing that's come up again for whatever reason. Another controversial thing that's been discussed recently, and I just needed to get that off my chest, to be honest. The next thing I wanted to talk about is abuse. I've been abused. I've been abused my whole life, pretty much, growing up. I was abused as a kid. I was abused in high school. I was abused when I got out of high school. I get abused in the military, but that's like voluntary abuse, so I'm not gonna really count that. I chose this, not really, kind of, if you squint. So I'm not gonna get into the military abuse. But yeah, my whole life I've been abused. When I was a kid, it would start with emotional abuse. When I was really young, I think I was like 5. I think I was like 5. And it started when my sister and I, we've always called, my stepbrothers as well, and my stepsister, all my siblings, we've always called our step-parent by their first name because it just makes sense. But my stepmom did not like that. she wanted us to call her mom. And it was kind of weird. Like, growing up, I didn't really give a shit when she would still complain about it. It was like, whatever, I don't care. But I was like 4 or 5 maybe, and I'd call her by her first name. And, you know, every now and then she'd drop this little hint, like, you know, you guys can just call me mom. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. But she would do it in such a way that was like, I don't know about my sister, but it would make me like feel bad. So then I would start calling her mom, and it was very like manipulative looking back at it. And anyway, that was the beginning of this huge, like, decade-long fight that my dad and mom were in. Because my mom was like, no, you're not you're their mom. They don't have to call you mom. If they want to call you mom, like, whatever. They don't have to call you mom. And then that started this whole thing about back and forth between my mom and my dad. And some families do a really good job of keeping the bullshit away from their kids. My family is not one of those families. The bullshit was always like right in front of us. I don't know how much it affected my sister. It kind of started when she was young. Her and I don't really talk about it, so I don't really know if it has affected her as much as it had affected me. But when it started, I was old enough to like remember the bullshit. It started this whole thing about my dad and stepmom trying to get custody rights taken away from my mom. And they even went as far as calling my kindergarten teacher as a witness to the stand to testify against my mom that she was an unfit parent. And it was like this whole thing that started when I was like super young. That was one of the things that fucked me up. There was constant. Our schedule was, I would spend a week at my mom's house, and then I'd spend a week at my dad's house. And we'd go back and forth. We'd switch every Friday. And the weekend leading up, or the Thursday leading up to the weekend, was always like my dad and stepmom being like, oh, you know, like, if they don't give you clean water, call us. And like, we were so young that it was like, yeah, okay, whatever. But like, looking back at it, what the fuck? What do you mean if they don't give us clean water? We live in a state that has like the cleanest water in the country. Like, what? We have indoor plumbing. We have like modern technology. What the fuck are you talking about? And then it'd be the same thing when we'd go back to our dad's house. My mom and stepdad would be like, on Thursday, right before going back to my dad's house, they'd be like, you know, if they make you call your stepmom mom, you know, call us, and we'll deal with it in court. It's like, bro, I'm 6 years old, bro. I don't care. Like, I don't care about any of this. And at the time, like, I just kind of disregarded it because I'm 6 years old and I don't really give a shit about what's going on. But then it would progress. It progressed into like, yeah, you know, they don't fucking love you over at that house. They hate you. And it was like, what the fuck are we doing? Anyway, it got to a point, because my dad has a very well-paying job and my mom and stepdad do not. My stepmom didn't work. That my dad and stepmom would start paying for like really expensive stuff. Like we'd give them like a Christmas list, and they wouldn't get any of the stuff on the Christmas list. Like, all I wanted for Christmas was like a fucking like Pokemon game. Like the Pokemon like blue, red, whatever the fuck. I forgot what it was. Like black and white. I think it was the one that I really wanted because I liked the look of the Pokemon. That was the one I really wanted. They had us write a whole Christmas list. I suck at Christmas lists because I don't know what I want. Like, and I feel weird because all the stuff that I do want is like, that I don't already have, is like super expensive. And I'm not going to put that shit on a Christmas list to pawn it off to somebody else and be like, hey, you want to get this for me? Like, that's so shitty. So I didn't do that. So I just put whatever down. I've always been like that, even as a kid. But yeah, they'd make it a big deal. It got to a point, like 4th or 5th grade, I just kind of stopped making Christmas lists because I was like, I don't know. And the reason I stopped doing that was because no matter what I put on my Christmas list, at my dad and stepmom's house, they would never get any of the stuff that I put on the list. They'd always get like the super expensive thing. Like I remember I wanted all my friends in 8th grade, all my friends had an Xbox One. It had just come out. It was like the newest console, whatever. It was all I wanted, to play video games with my friends. And instead, it was the only thing on my Christmas list. I was like, this is all I want. You don't even have to get games for it. I'll like save up money somehow and like get games myself. This is all I want. And they're like, okay, yeah. Come Christmas time, they bought me a dirt bike, like an actual dirt bike. They put it in the living room next to the tree, and it was cool. I was appreciative that I got a dirt bike. Like that was really cool. But like I didn't ask for that, and also a dirt bike is way more expensive than an Xbox One. Like, and they would buy these gifts. Or they'd take us on vacation over like summer break or winter break. They'd take us to all kinds of places and be like, look how much money we spent on you. You know, don't you love us? Don't you love us more? And it got to a point where I was like, no. Like, I mean, like, I do love you, but I kind of fucking hate you right now. Because what is this like bribery tactic? Like, this is so shitty on so many levels. And then on the flip side of that, my mom and stepdad would really feed into that as well. And they'd be like, oh, you know, we don't have a lot of money. And, you know, like we don't have a lot of money. We're kind of poor. We don't have the money to buy a dirt bike or whatever the fuck. You know, it's pretty evil of them to like spend money on you like that. I made you this sock, this hand-me-down like sock from one of your older stepbrothers. We got you that for Christmas, and like you probably hate us because we don't have as much money as them. And it was like, no, I don't hate you because you're poor. Like, oh my god, dude. It would start with the emotional abuse, and then in school, I was getting bullied constantly. Especially in middle school. And like I was getting like physically abused in middle school. Like I had this one kid had like this like ice box in the bottom of his lunchbox that keeps everything cold, and he'd like smack me over the head with it over and over again. And that shit would hurt so bad. Eventually I got sick of it and I threw him into a wall. And then I somehow got in trouble with the security guard person that we had in the school. But it was like, dude, what the fuck? Like, I'm the victim here. What the fuck? Like, did you not just see him clock me in the head with this ice box? And then in high school, I didn't like get physically bullied, but like it was just bullying, whatever. Meanwhile, I still have like this emotional, confusing abuse going on at home. And then I started dating, and goddamn, I had the worst taste in women. Because they were all abusive as well. Like they would, oh, the mind games. Dude, the mind games. The mental abuse that I've gone through is so shitty. I bring this up because the Bible has two things that it says about abuse that I want to get into. Because religious people, they've been the only ones to tell me this, but religious people, my family included, love to tell me that I'm not abused as a kid. This guy's aim fucking sucks, dude. Yeah, they love to tell me, well, that's not abuse. You don't know what you're talking about, that's not abuse. So I wanted to take out some scripture from the Bible to talk about what the Bible classifies as abuse. So we're gonna do that in the next strat. But yeah, man, abuse fucking sucks. I still, to this day, and I need therapy, but I still, to this day, struggle with some of the shit that I went through as a kid. Today, even. But we'll get into it later. This next strat is Siege Week. We did die at the end of that last strat, so I did end up taking a shot. We're now at 5 shots. And this next strat is Siege Week. I have like different games put in the strat list, so if it lands on one of those, I'll start a series for that. And this one is Siege Week, so for the next week, I am going to be streaming Rainbow Six Siege. Gonna be like getting a layout of the maps on the first day. Second day is just gonna be playing the game. Third day I'll probably either do a strat roulette or I'll play with chat. Fourth day, do some achievement hunting. I'm trying to think. Play the game. Strat roulette.
The enemies.
Play the game with chat. Do a drinking stream of Rainbow Six. I think that could be a lot of fun. And then on the 7th day, it'll just kind of be whatever's left. Probably more achievement hunting, I imagine. I haven't really looked at what the achievements entail in that game. So, you know, it could just be playing the game, which is fine with me. We'll do ranked, see what rank I get put in. I think it'll be a lot of fun. This next week is gonna be good. Which means that this round is basically just a free round. If I live, don't have to take a shot. If I die, I'm gonna have to take a shot. Anyway, I wanted to read the scripture here in the Bible that talks about abuse. So the first one is Psalm 72:12 through 14. I'm going ahead and pull that one up there. Okay. Which one was it? 72:12 through 14. For he delivers the needy when he calls, the poor, and him who has no helper. He has pity on the weak and the needy, and saves the lives of the needy. From oppression and violence he redeems their life, and precious is their blood in his sight. Yeah, so when I was getting physically abused, and mentally abused, well, we'll start with the poor. God was not there for me or my family when my mom and stepdad were at their poorest. They were almost on the streets. That's how poor they were. And God did not help them. God did not help them in any way. There was no God there that helped them whatsoever. It was actually me getting a job, and shadowing at the teacher job, which paid like $300 every 2 weeks, and then I'd give that money to them that saved them from that. That was me. That was not God. To go on from that, he talks about being oppressed and violence. I was violently attacked in middle school almost every day. I don't really want to say oppressed. I wasn't exactly oppressed, but there was definitely violence taken against me. And, God didn't help me with that. Praying didn't help with that. It was me. It was me becoming an asshole that that helped with that. Finally got people to leave me the fuck alone. The next verse is Proverbs 11:14. Go ahead and switch over to that one real quick. Holy shit, these pages, dude. I took this Bible to the field, and it rained when we were in Korea, so all the pages are like kind of sticking together because this Bible got soaked. It's making a good comeback, but it did not fare well against the elements. Proverbs 11:14.
Vehicles are now available for purchase.
Where there is no guidance, a people falls, but in an abundance of counselors, there's safety. So, who was my counselor when I was a kid getting mentally abused by my parents? Your parents are supposed to be your counselors, but I couldn't go to them because they were the ones abusing me. School counselors didn't help at all, whatsoever. My family did enroll me in a therapist, and then my dad fired her, made up a whole bunch of stuff about her to get her fired. Like, she lost her license to be a therapist because he accused her of persuading my sister and I of siding with our mom rather than him. And then after that, I never had a therapist again. And I did like our therapist. I don't really know if she helped. I would just kind of go in there and cry and then go home and still be depressed and life sucked. She didn't really like do a whole lot. She would ask me like what's been going on, and then I'd talk about it and I'd cry, and then there'd be like no resolve. There'd be no like advice on like how to better navigate that. So I didn't really have like a counselor, you know? In a way, my friends were my counselors, but I didn't really talk to them about what was going on. I would just spend as much time with them as possible because they were a safe space. Not necessarily, I wouldn't call them counselors. Hi. How are you?
Good.
You sleep well? I'm good. I don't want to go to work.
It's okay, you got an extra day.
Yeah. Yay, extra day.
You have to get changed, you have to go to therapy. Then
Oh yeah, I forgot.
go buy lotion.
Yay, lotion.
She didn't want me to get wet, she kept laying on me, she's laying on my face. She's making biscuits on my cheek.
You're just a problem today. You're just a problem today. Yeah.
I'm teething.
Yeah. You're gonna be a little gum monster, a little
Yeah, all
gummy,
your teeth are gone.
little gummy guy.
Where are they going? How are you gonna eat?
You're gonna be a little gummy guy. I was gonna say something, but I don't remember. I went to King Soopers to pay for her.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I need to do it through this thing, and they're like, well, we don't do that thing here.
Where am I supposed to do it then?
So I looked it up on the portal thing, and there's the Walmart we can try, and then there's a King Soopers gas station that we can try.
Okay.
Why is it like the most sketchy like thing
I
to?
can come back after I go to therapy, we go to Walmart together.
If you want to, or I can just go
That's where I'm
and
gonna
just
go.
get it done. You're gonna go to the Walmart by our house?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. It was just pissing me off.
Yeah.
Woke up early as fuck. I get to work. I'm the only person there.
Oh yeah, because it's still blocking.
Yeah, but like there were people who didn't take leave who were like are supposed to be at work. Should I just not take my leave day?
Yeah.
Like if we're not going to work anyway? Like what is the point of that? And then I was like, well, okay, whatever. I was gonna go to the gym. Came back, changed. I was gonna go to the gym anyway because I was like, I'm up anyway to like work out. It's whatever. So I go do that. The gym's closed. So I was like, well, I need to go pick up my inhaler from the hospital. So I went and did that. And then I had to go buy supplies for my dress uniform for whatever the fuck we're doing with that. And then went to King Soopers, and they were like, yeah, we only do this other thing. We don't do the one that you need. So what is the point? Well, I don't understand why I can't just go to the office and just give them the money. And why can't I pay with a card? Why does it have to be in cash? Like, what is that? I should have just been a fugitive.
We should have registered you.
Wind is getting stronger. Evacuate before the radiation spreads.
Yeah. In a way, she kind of is. She keeps us sane. In a way.
Changing back.
Since having this. Since having rat.
There are new vehicles available.
But I love you. Are you okay? Oh. Some of that. Probably, I'm gonna, like, maybe later today, because I hate people, I'm probably gonna go to the gym.
Okay.
Like, by just here, yeah. But I'll go later, because I don't want to see people.
Okay. Hello?
When do you go have therapy?
I got 1:30. I'm so tired. Do I want to drive when I'm this tired?
Yeah, you were still up when I woke up randomly at like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I got out of the shower at like 1:30.
What?
I had to like really motivate myself. And then she was asleep already.
Thanks.
Like, I feel bad.
Yeah.
She got like all comfy. And I was like,
Little comfy guy.
Gotta buy me a new one though, if it breaks.
They're her favorite snack.
Only does one right
Yeah. Yeah.
here. Like, I don't feel safe to drive.
You just wanna, are you gonna do like over the phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to Walmart after. I have to pee so bad.
I've lost my train of thought.
Some good supplies.
Yeah, anyway. Abuse. Yeah. No. Getting... abuse is such a shitty thing. Like... And the shitty part is that, like, my family, to this day, are still firm believers that they were not, like, abusive in any way. And now they're, like, confused as to why my sister and I don't, like, talk to them. Like, it's, I don't know, it's weird. It's super weird. Like, for instance, it was Father's Day yesterday. Got a, like, weird text from my grandma a week ago, prior to Father's Day, about, like, oh, you know, Father's Day is coming up, you know, it's the one day where you're supposed to appreciate your dad, and, like, you know, make sure it's special. You know, you should, like, call him. But there's been so many things that, like, that my dad just, like, doesn't want to be accountable for, doesn't believe that he did. Because when I was, I think it was 18 and 17, we had a conversation about, like, because we were having issues at home. I told him, like, you know, this is shitty shit that you've done. And he was like, no. Myself.
Oh.
I'm doing it for this.
Okay.
Just ranting, just
Okay.
rambling.
I was like,
I'm going crazy. Wow, you found your bag. They were talking about abuse. Yeah.
You and
Do
you.
you have anything to add about abuse?
I want you to go to therapy.
Maybe someday.
Off record. Is this like just going in regardless?
Yeah.
This whole thing?
Yep.
Okay, do you want to pause it then?
No. I don't know.
I
What
think
do
it
you?
should be paused for a second.
The radiation area is
Because we're
expanding.
gonna talk about the situation. That one time. Or you outside of with
What?
pause it first.
Okay. Huh?
The radiation area is
Okay,
spread.
and we're back.
Extraction point is about to close.
I forgot what I was talking about, but yeah. Anyway, being abused, dude, not good. Like, it's so shitty. It's excuse me. It's such a shitty thing. Like, I forgot what I was even talking about. My dad. Yeah. So anyway, super busy on Sunday because none of my friends have dads. So we made plans to hang out, and I didn't even think about it being Father's Day because I just didn't think about it. And my dad doesn't even like live in the same state. He lives somewhere completely different. And I don't know. There's just, I could go on and on about abuse. It's bad. It's bad. Abuse is not good. Outside of the family trauma stuff, I was abused in relationships as well. A lot of gaslighting. I was cheated on in almost every single relationship I've ever been in. And it was so bad because I don't know if it was just like the mental state that I was in at the time or what it was, but somehow these girls that I was dating managed to convince me that I was the problem and I was the reason that they cheated. Which is insane. Like, it's insane. I have a really hard time putting myself in the mindset that I was in during that time in my life. But I was so manipulated back then, and it's affected me up until now. Like, it still affects me. I'm like super on guard about stuff. I have a really hard time trusting people. I think just about everybody says stuff in a manipulative way. Strangers, usually. Like, I have a really hard time trusting new people. The boys, shit, if they've been manipulating me, they're doing a really good job, because it's been like 12, 13 years since I've known most of them. I've known Hoax for 20 years. And, you know, if he's manipulating me in some crazy way, he's doing a pretty good job at it. And he can keep it that way, because I trust that dude. Fully. But, yeah, being abused is just, it's so shitty. It's so shitty. It fucks with you for so long. We had to pause, because my wife came in and was talking to me about some stuff, and she's been trying to get me to go to therapy, but like I don't have a lot of free time. I spend a lot of my free time doing this and like hanging out with her. So if I go to therapy, which I agree, I do need therapy, but if I go to therapy, it's going to take away time from my already packed schedule. It's just another thing, you know? It's just another thing to add. So I might as well just wait until my schedule clears up a little bit. Anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about with abuse. We can move on to something else with this next strat. Alright, so for this next strat, gotta nade myself while I do a Mark Wahlberg impression. Well, yeah, I already had damage done, but fuck. Fuck.
Welcome to Serpent
So,
Island.
my Mark Wahlberg impression is not very good. Anyway, we're 6 shots in. This next strat is clutch or kick and choke. So if I'm in a clutch or kick situation and I choke, gotta take another shot. So it'll be 2 shots if I lose here. That Mark Wahlberg impression was not very good. Unless it was. Maybe you guys think it was good. I don't know. But yeah, the next controversial thing I wanted to talk about was addiction. Now there's 3 Bible verses that are specifically about addiction. The first one is John 8:34 through 36. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull that one up real quick. Here we go. John 8. 36. Jesus answered them, "Truly, truly, I say to you, everyone who practices sin is a slave to sin. The slave does not remain in the house forever, the son remains forever. So if the Son sets you free, you will be free indeed." That means my interpretation of that is addiction will keep you trapped. You'll feel like a slave to your addiction. And if you follow in the footsteps of God, of Jesus, you can be freed of your addiction. Which makes sense. That makes sense to me. That one, I think that one's a good one. The next one is James 1:13 through 15. Go ahead and pull up that page. I went too far. Oh, it's close. Just one more back. Okay. 13 through 15. Let no one say when he is tempted, "I am being tempted by God," for God cannot be tempted with evil, and he himself tempts no one. But each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin, and sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death. My interpretation of that one is you shouldn't blame your addiction on God. Your addiction came from you, the depths of your own mind. And it'll eventually be the death of you, which is also an accurate one. I do agree with that verse. I think that one is a good one. And then the third verse is Proverbs 14:12. Let me pull up that one. It's all the way here. Wow, this page really got fucked on, dude. This page is rough. Get it? Yeah, we're good. Okay. 14:12. There's a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way to death.
Stay alert. There are a lot of hostiles in this area.
That verse to me also means that, addiction, your addiction will kill you, depending on what it is. And I do agree with that one as well. I've faced addiction. I've faced addiction in my life. I actually agree with a lot of the 3 Bible verses in here that are about that. I'm actually currently still dealing with addiction. When I was in high school, all my friends smoked weed, a lot of weed. And I didn't really have access to it, didn't really have the money for it, but when I would hang out with these friends, you know, they didn't care if we shared. They didn't care if we shared, I didn't have to pay them back, so I did. And it was actually the feeling I get when I'm high is euphoric, almost, which I guess is like the whole point of it, right? But I think it's something to do with the timing of when I did it or whatever, but I was super depressed in high school, and getting high, smoking weed, like released and relieved all this pressure that I felt was on me, and I felt happy. That's kind of what started it. I wouldn't say I was necessarily addicted to weed. I was just addicted to the high, which is completely different. I know some people won't think that, but I do think it is. I do think there is a difference there. But I never could afford it, so it was always something that only something that would happen when I hung out with these friends. So I was fortunate there that I couldn't spend all my money on weed, because one, I didn't know where to get it from, and two, never had the money to spend what little money I had, so it wasn't like a huge deal. Then, also in high school, I think my junior year, the same friend, one of my best friends, we went to a baseball game with two of my other friends / coworkers who were teachers. And they were both over 21, so they bought us alcohol. And on the way back from the baseball game, and then dropped us off at my buddy's house. And it was a very similar feeling. The feeling of being drunk or getting drunk was the same feeling that I felt when I was high. But it was the same thing. It was the same thing. I don't want to say I hated it, but I did not like the taste of alcohol. But I liked the feeling that it gave me, because it made me feel happy. But it was the same thing as weed. I didn't have any money, nor did I have like a person who could regularly buy me alcohol, so I didn't really have an opportunity to let that consume me. Then my senior year of high school, the same buddy and I, our birthdays are 2 days apart, so we thought it'd be really fun to have like a big party where we both invite people at his place. And that was the first time I ever got crossfaded. And I know a lot of people don't like being crossfaded. I love being crossfaded. I think it's fantastic. I love it. But it was the same thing. It was a special occasion, so I was like, fuck it, dude, I'll do the drugs, I'll get drunk. And it wasn't really a big deal, because I didn't have regular access to it. And I would say at that point, I wasn't really addicted. I did think about that feeling a lot, because I felt very happy. But I wouldn't necessarily say I was addicted. But I did miss that feeling. I wasn't necessarily chasing that feeling, though. Then when we graduated high school, I started vaping. I started getting into nicotine. And I'm still struggling with that addiction to this day. That is one that I do really struggle with, because it's not necessarily the feeling that it gives me. It's this like false sense of security, and it's an easy fix for boredom. Especially in the military, because I did stop for quite a bit. You have to when you join the military. But there's just so much sitting around and doing nothing, and you're not allowed to do anything else. You just have to do nothing. And so, how do you cure that feeling of doing nothing for God knows how long? Nicotine. It gives you a little bit of a buzz. That's kind of it. Like it just stimulates the brain when you're sitting in a vehicle. You can't feel your butt. There's so many people in the vehicle that like you can't move your legs. Everything's going numb. You've sat in there for 12 hours. There's no windows, so you have no idea how close or far away you are, and you're just bored out of your mind. That was what got me back into it. When I initially started doing it, it was because vaping was like the new thing, and I was 18, so I was like, fuck it, dude, I want to be cool. So I started vaping. But yeah, I do struggle with nicotine addiction, 100%. I want to quit, and I can quit. It's not hard to quit for me. It's just a matter of I quit, and then I'll be good for a couple months, and then something will happen at work while I'm in the military, and it's like I'm just sitting there doing nothing. Might as well have nicotine to like do something, you know what I mean? And then I know people are gonna ask, well then why do you hit it when you stream and all this stuff? I also like it because it helps me stay awake. I don't get a lot of sleep in the military. On a lucky night, I'll get 4 hours of sleep. And that's on like a good night. Most of the time it's less than that. It's closer to like 3, maybe 2.5. And you know, functioning like that, raw dogging that exhaustion with nothing is brutal, absolutely brutal. So yeah, I vape because it, one, keeps me awake. 2, I like to stay up later because it allows me to do stuff like this, whereas if I just go to bed at like a normal time, if I force myself to really go to bed and just lay there, not actually sleeping, but just laying there, it could be hours, and then all I'm able to do is go to work because I get off work, take a shower, eat something, hang out with my wife for a little bit, and then I'll have to go to bed. I get like 2 hours if I go to bed at like a normal time. But I want to do this. This is something that I enjoy doing, so I stay up later doing this, knowing that even if I did go to bed early, I wouldn't be able to sleep regardless. So that is why I hit my booth when I'm streaming, because it's usually I'm exhausted, I'm tired, but I'm not going to be able to fall asleep, even if I go lay down. So might as well do something that helps me not be an asshole because I'm sleepy. Yeah, started doing that when I was 18 because I wanted to be cool. It slowly turned into I hit it when I'm feeling tired or low energy, or I'm bored out of my mind at work in the military. And that's kind of it. I've quit before. I've quit multiple times before. I'm planning on quitting coming up here soon. Again, we'll see how long it lasts before I'm bored out of my mind in the military and just doing nothing. And I'll probably pick it up again. But it is what it is, and it'll be okay. Eventually I will quit, though. That is the plan. Like, for good. You know, and you're probably saying, you know, those aren't that bad. You know, weed, everybody has smoked weed, just about. Everybody has gotten drunk, like... I want to say most people have tried at least a cigarette or hit somebody's vape at some point. You know, that's not really like addiction. Well, then the lockdown happened. And I was in the middle of doing OnlyFans. I was in the middle of... It was the lockdown, so nothing was going on. And one of the girls that I was hooking up with for OnlyFans was like, she'd come over with like this little bag, and we were just like hanging out, getting ready to make our video. She was like, "Oh, do you like took some out of the bag?" And or no, sorry, pause, rewind. This wasn't even my first thing. There was a different girl, also for OnlyFans. Met her at a club. We'd hooked up a couple of times, but I was over at her place, and we were getting ready to shoot another video because her apartment was actually really nice. And then we were at her place. Her roommate was talking to us about his bong, and
The train is on its way.
then she took this bag out of her purse and like poured some on her kitchen counter. And I was like, "What is that?" She was like, "Oh, it's cocaine." And I was like, "Oh." She was like, "Do you want to do some?" And I was like, "I've never done cocaine. Like, I don't really know if that's for me." Like I know myself well enough to know that I can and will get addicted to that. So maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't. And she was like, "No, no, no. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. You should do it once. It's not even addictive." So I did it, and I got addicted. Sure enough. I will say it was doing the most. I had so much energy after doing cocaine. I was up for like 3 days. I got so much shit done. And that terrified me. That absolutely terrified me. Because I liked it so much. So anyway, didn't know who to buy it from. Didn't really have access to any of that. So I was like, fuck it, dude. Try anything once. It's good enough for me. It'll get out of my system and I'll be good. Well, then there's this other girl. Which is the story that I was telling originally. And she had taken some out. She was like, "Yo, do you want to do some with me?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I do," because I'm 21 years old and I'm an idiot. And so we did it, and it was great. And it was the same feeling. I had so much energy. And with both girls, we filmed the video, and it was a great experience. But once again, I was met with that feeling of like, dude, I like this way too much. This is gonna be bad for me.
Keep your eye on the radiation.
But I was 21 and didn't care, so fuck it. Anyway, released the video, we started making money on it, and usually with collaboration videos like that, it's split 50-50. That's how I like to do it. And every girl that I did work with agreed that the 50-50 split was fair. But with this girl, because the other girl had moved away, with this girl, you know, my 21-year-old self found an opportunity of like, you know, I could get a regular supply of cocaine this way. And so I told her, you know, you can make, for every video we make from now on, you can get 100% of the profit. In exchange, I want cocaine. Which in a weird way just sounds like we're having sex, or I'm fucking her and she's giving me cocaine. But I promise that was not the dynamic. In a weird way of A plus B equals C, therefore A plus C equals B. It works that way, but I promise that's not what it was. It wouldn't make it any better or worse if it was that dynamic, but yeah, that's what we were doing.
You've entered the radiation area. Keep your eye on the radiation
And then, honestly, what happened was, my wife and I, we were still friends at the time, and I was kind of thinking about quitting the whole OnlyFans thing. Anyway, because I liked my wife.
The radiation area is spread. The extraction point is about to close. Get ready, soldier.
My wife had already dated a drug dealer before. He wasn't even just like a user, he was a drug dealer.
Check your map for details.
Before, when we were just friends. And so I knew that it would be a deal breaker if I was doing drugs, if I was addicted to drugs.
The wind is spreading radiation. The radiation
While we were
area is
dating.
expanding.
So stopped doing cocaine. Couldn't smoke weed because I was planning on going into the military at the time. Or before that, didn't really smoke any weed. Every now and then I would, just because, whatever. I had some money and I was like, fuck it, dude, I'll spend it on some weed. But I stopped doing that when my wife and I got together and started dating. The nicotine has stayed, the drinking has stayed, but it's not like, I'm not an alcoholic. I do it strictly for fun. Not because I'm trying to get better, try to feel better, you know? Yeah, addiction is no joke. Addiction is no joke at all. Shortly after I graduated high school, I saw firsthand the effects that like the crazy hardcore drugs can have on a person. I had two friends who both got kicked out around the same time who asked if they could stay with me for a couple days just to like figure things out, which I said was fine. And dude, they were all cracked out of their minds. They were all tweakers, both of them. I would drop them off at the mall to go job hunting, and they instead of hunting for jobs, they would just go and buy more drugs and do them before I pick them up when I got off work. And it got to a point where one of them got really paranoid that the other one was going to kill him in his sleep. And so in his mind, the only way to prevent him from dying in his sleep was if he killed the other guy while the other guy was sleeping. And so I woke up to one of the dudes screaming in the middle of the night. Screaming in the middle of the night. And I woke up, turned the light on, and this other dude number one, had like this knife. He had this pocket knife out, standing over dude number two, who had just woken up and was screaming. And they would get into fist fights. They would talk about killing each other all the time, and it was all the drugs. They were just cracked out of their mind, because when they weren't high, they were fine. They were totally like normal dudes. But then I'd drop them off wherever I'd drop them off at, and they'd start doing all these crazy hardcore drugs, and then they'd just be tweaked out, dude. It was crazy. And at the time, that was before I was even doing cocaine, so I was like, dude, that'll never be me. Like, that'll never be me. And like leading up to the events of me doing cocaine, I did my research, you know, like you kind of have to when you have friends that do crazy drugs like that. So I knew like cocaine wasn't gonna make me a tweaker, you know. Doesn't mean it was good. I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just saying, like, I had friends who were doing meth, you know. You could not pay me to do meth or heroin. You could not pay me to do either of those things. Maybe if I was like terminally ill, do like a drug vlog. Hey guys, hi in Las Vegas right now, just smoked a whole batch of meth, you know, like, I don't even know what the lingo is for it. But anyway, yeah, addiction is a serious thing that a lot of people struggle with. And it doesn't even have to be drugs. It doesn't even have to be drugs or alcohol. It can be porn. We had a friend in high school who was super Mormon, and he was dating this other girl who was also super Mormon, and everybody thought they were going to be like high school sweethearts, like they were going to be together forever. But she wound up breaking up with him because he had a porn addiction, and he couldn't let it go. She gave him an ultimatum of like it's her porn, and he chose porn, which is crazy to me. So she broke up with him. You can be addicted to video games. I sometimes get like that when I haven't had a lot of free time. When the military takes away a lot of my time, I get kind of like addicted, especially if it's a really good game. But I have to kind of like force myself to stop. That one's not like bad for me. I know some people it can be really bad, where they quit their jobs. They go as far as like quitting their jobs to play their video games. In a lot of ways, money is an addiction. In my head, money is definitely an addiction. If it wasn't, why would these companies, who already make billions and billions of dollars every year, still want another $500 billion? You know what I mean? Like, surely your $300 billion is enough money in a year. But then they're like, no, our profits need to go up by another $1 billion. It's like, literally why? It's an addiction. It definitely is. And then I think there's good addictions too. I do think there's good addictions. You can be addicted to studying, or like education. That's how you end up with people who have like 7 degrees for no reason. so much debt that they'll never get out of. So, but that's what they enjoy doing, and I think that's okay within moderation, you know. As long as they aren't going homeless for it, who cares?
You've entered the radiation area. Keep your eye on the radiation spread.
Alright, so we are entering the next round. The strat for this one is a free round, so just a free shot. That brings us up to 6 shots, maybe even 7, counting the free one. And then if I die here, it'll be 8 shots. So, you know, decent amount of alcohol in my system at this point. I'm playing surprisingly well, despite how drunk I probably am right now. I'm trying to remember. Pretty sure I was pretty drunk at this point. Definitely not as drunk as like the TF2 drinking stream, but definitely pretty drunk. Last thing I wanted to talk about for this video was being afraid. There's actually 3 Bible verses for this one as well. So the first one is 2 Timothy 1:7. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. For God gave us a spirit not of fear, but of power and love and self-control. I like this Bible verse because I think it is important to keep all those things in mind when you are afraid. I'm going to talk about being afraid because it is something that I struggle with. We're going to get to that in a second, but I like to keep these 3 things in mind when I'm going through whatever it is that I'm going through. The next one is Psalm 34:4. Go ahead and turn to that one. I sought the Lord, and He answered me and delivered me from all my fears. I have prayed before when I've felt afraid about stuff. Whether or not those prayers were answered is a great question that I don't even know if I can answer. I don't think anybody can. It's one of those things where it actually is not up to us to know or figure out. And then the last one is Psalm 56:3 and 4. So I'll turn to that one.
The enemy population in this area is moderate.
3 and 4. When I am afraid, I put my trust in you, in God, whose word I praise, in God I trust, I shall not be afraid. What can flesh do to me? While I do like the mindset of that, there's a lot of terrible things that flesh can do to flesh. I do like to keep all 3 of those things in mind. This is another rare instance where I actually agree with what the Bible is saying. I've been afraid about a lot of stuff. The more recent stuff recently has been I'm afraid of my job. Being in the Army is not that spooky right now, but it can definitely get spooky. And it got a little spooky with the stuff going on in Iran for a little bit. Yeah, it definitely can get spooky very quickly. And there's a lot of stuff that I want to do with my life. There's a lot of stuff I want to do with my wife. There's a lot of stuff, just a lot of stuff, you know. I'm not necessarily ready to die. And I am afraid that, you know, I could die in the military. It does scare me. Another thing on the flip side of that I'm afraid of is failing. And I know that's a really hard one to necessarily like put a label on, because failing is very subjective. But in my head, in my mind, the closest I was to failing was when I hit rock bottom 3 years ago. And if it wasn't for the military, I would still be in rock bottom. And that kind of scares me. That kind of scares me because if I fail again while I'm in the military, you know, I don't have another scapegoat. The military was a good scapegoat for getting out of rock bottom. But if I hit rock bottom again somehow, what is going to pull me out of the trenches this time? You know what I mean? And because the military scares me, and because I don't necessarily like my job, I want to get out. I want to get out, but I'm afraid that if I do get out, what am I going to do? The job market right now is so ass. With AI and companies being stingy and shit, there's... What would I do? You know what I mean? And then I'm also afraid of the future of the world in general. You know, we have the past 2 years, all this corruption and terrible shit has come out about world leaders and like the people in charge of us. And you know, I'm afraid of what that future means for us. You know? There might come a day when I can't do this. I won't be able to make videos anymore because I'll be too busy doing whatever crazy world event might be going on, and that terrifies me. That does terrify me. I'm afraid. My wife and I have had like a lot of life changes recently. Like we moved, we just got a mouse. I just did a huge repair on my car. Huge repair on my car. That cost a lot of money, a lot more money than I was expecting, but it did cost a lot of money. I am afraid that we're gonna be like broke. There's a lot of spooky things to be afraid of, you know what I mean? Alright, so this is the last strat of the night. For this one, if everybody dies with no kills, gotta take a big swig. We're 8 shots deep at this point. Potentially having to take a big swig here if we don't get any kills and still die. From what I remember, I was definitely very drunk. I was very, very drunk at this point. I was very, very drunk at this point. I was ready to end it. I think this is the reason this was the last one was because I was running out of alcohol. We could only have so much alcohol while we were in Korea in our rooms, and I was almost out by the end of this. So, yeah, it's definitely feeling a little bit. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. You know, I'd love to hear your guys' comments on any of the things that we talked about, things that you're excited for with the channel. If you guys have any ideas for the D&D and Magic campaign, I'd love to hear them. You know, if you have any questions about Twitch or about my channel and like things I have planned, feel you're more than welcome to ask in the comments for sure. I'm trying to upload more regularly. Unfortunately, these videos do take a lot of time to edit. It's a lot of footage to like go through, and then like actually edit and all that stuff. So it's a lot of work on that end. But you know, if you guys have questions about anything, just feel free to leave a comment. You know, if you disagree with anything that I said about abortion or abuse or being afraid or addiction, I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. I think it's good to debate about stuff. I think a lot of the problems we have today, in today's world, is that we don't debate, we don't talk about stuff. There's not a lot of differing viewpoints. People just tend to agree with whatever they're surrounded by, and I don't think that that's good for us as a whole, as a planet, you know? I think it's good. I think it's good to talk about stuff. Get different viewpoints in there. It only works, though, if everybody has an open mind, you know? So if you think I'm wrong about abortion, you are more than welcome to... you're more than welcome to leave a comment. We can hash it out in the comments for sure. Or privately, you know, it doesn't have to be a comment. You can message me. I have my social media in the description, so you know you can message me. You can leave a hate comment if you want. I don't really care. I would love to debate about stuff, especially abortion. If you guys want to share your abuse stories or your struggles with addiction, you definitely can here. This is a safe space for that. You can put it in the comments or message me separately. It's good to like talk about stuff. It's not good to bottle it all in. It's good to let it out, you know? So if you need somebody to talk to about that stuff, I'm definitely available for that. You can always hit me up on literally anything or leave a comment if you want it to be a public thing. That's totally cool. Yeah, or if you guys are like afraid of anything, you guys want to share some stuff that you're afraid of and you want like reassurance with that, you can definitely leave a comment about that. I'm down to discuss any of the things that we talked about. I am down to discuss any of the things that we talked about. And feedback. This is my first like commentary video without like a live chat. I thought it would be similar to like streaming, but it turns out it's kind of weird when you don't actually have somebody interacting with you in real time. You know, like I don't know. So if you guys have any feedback on like how to do a better version of this, a better commentary, or you know if there's something you really hated about it, or if there's something you want to see more of, you guys can definitely let me know in the comments. I do have a lot of plans for this channel, so if you want to keep up with that, stay in the know, I would definitely subscribe. I have a lot of fun doing this. It is a lot of work on top of my actual work, but I really enjoy doing this. This is actually like so much fun. If you guys want to see more, you want to stay caught up, you want to join the community, go ahead and subscribe. Like I said at the beginning of this video, we're gonna rebrand here soon. Gonna switch over from SillyUmpaLoompa to SpaceCentipede, so Warner Brothers doesn't crawl inside of my butthole and rip me in half. That's probably gonna be sooner rather than later. So you know, if you search up SillyUmpaLoompa and you guys don't see it, it's not like popping up. Look up SpaceCentipede and it'll be there. I do go live on Twitch quite a bit. Siege Week is happening this week. Starting today, actually. So if you're seeing this on the day that it was uploaded, you guys can find me over on Twitch. Also at SillyUmpaLoompa, soon to be SpaceCentipede. That'll probably change as well. Here soon. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. A lot of good stuff coming up. Hope you guys have a good week, actually. Probably won't be editing anything else for the rest of the week since I have Siege Week this week. And that's probably going to take up the majority of my evenings. Might edit some stuff this upcoming weekend. I have another montage. That's the next video I got to edit. It's a DLQ montage, which is a sniper. Really good sniper. I actually really like the DLQ. So, you know, keep an eye out for that. I am looking for an editor The issue is that money is tight right now, so if you're interested in editing, but you need it for money, we can figure something out and talk about it. I know I already had Lapdance and Bort talk to me about doing it, but I don't have the money to pay them, so I would feel bad with just pawning off my work to them. But, you know, we can figure something out. We can talk about it and figure it out. Yeah. Last strat of the night. We're almost at the end here. I just got to get 1 kill and I'll be safe. Even if I die, I won't have to take 2 shots. But I die right there at the end. So we finished the night on, what is it, 10 shots, I think? Yeah, 10 shots. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one.